Okay, we are going to look at the meta invoicing feature in your staging environment. So first, to navigate here, you go to the tab and there's a meta invoices page. If you click on that, it will bring you here. You'll notice a lot of similar functionality to what we've seen elsewhere. To create a new meta invoice, you're going to hit add new, and it's kind of similar to how we select things to post to QuickBooks or something like that. These first few fields are required. So the first thing I normally do is decide which client I'm going to do. Let's look at, looks like Western National Insurance Group has a few invoices available. So actually Nationwide Insurance, let's do that one. Looks like it has some big numbers, so that's fun. I'll pick my deployment next. The table filters as you make selections up here, but this way your meta invoice that you create is just for one particular deployment and client. It also needs a date. I'm going to go ahead and do today's date. And then I can select all of these or some subset of these, and it'll update the invoice amount and the invoice balance. This would have changed if there had been any payments on the individual invoices. So I am going to go ahead and pick 2 and 3 and leave 4 just so we can see that you have that ability. It also looks like this one already has some payments on it, this 0014-2. So I'm going to create this invoice, or these 2 invoices into a single meta invoice by hitting the create button. Now it brings me to the meta invoice itself. I'm able to edit everything because it's still pending approval. I think, is that true? Yep. So I can make changes here to which items are part of my particular invoice. I'm going to go back and approve this one. It uses that same action modal that we see here. So I'm going to update this one to approved. And now if I attempted to edit anything here, it will prevent me. I can't change an invoice that is in approved status. I could always go and change the status itself. If I look at what that invoice would look like in PDF, by clicking that button, I'll show you here. It lists out the claims, the related invoice numbers, their date, and their amounts, and then gives you a total. It does not have the detailed view that I know you've mentioned needing for some clients, so that is a follow-up item. If you apply a payment here, so what does it say? Our total balance is $4,032. I'm going to add a payment on the meta invoice. You can even select if you only want it to apply to a particular invoice number. I'm just going to do $4,000 for now and call it meta-2. Save that. And if I go back here, you'll see my remaining balance is only $32, and it applied in that same order that I had listed out those invoices. And if we now go over to our QuickBooks posting, oops, I started one and didn't finish it, but I should see that invoice payment here as well. So here's that meta 2. It broke it into individual, it applied it across those invoices. So I could select them each and then post it over to QuickBooks the same way. So in QuickBooks, we're still passing information on the individual invoices and payments on those invoices, even though you can apply payments across the board for the whole meta invoice. So meta 1 and meta 2 are just me doing some testing. The individual invoices had already been posted in this case, so I didn't repost anything here. But as long as they were in approved status, I would have been able to create the meta invoice and any subsequent payments. I'm not going to push anything to QuickBooks today, but this is where you'd see that meta invoice. And just to show you, if I added another meta invoice, those nationwide insurance invoices that I already listed are no longer available because they're already part of a meta invoice. So you can only be part of a single meta invoice. So you can't have an invoice in multiple meta invoices, if that makes sense. I am happy to hop on a call or talk through this in more detail tomorrow. If you have follow-up questions, please let me know. Thanks.